It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back. We got another video suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community. So shout out to, I think that's Koss, I think that is. And this one's from r/deadbydaylight titled, I think all killers have a hive mind targeting. I wanted to talk about it because reading the title alone, it really felt like we've hit like peak delusion. And I wanted to actually look into, you know, what the post actually is about, because that's the only way we're really gonna know. Is it actually peak delusion, or is this a meme, right? So let's go ahead and take a look, right? So it says, haven't played the game in like 2 to 3 days, currently playing with a friend, and out of all games today, not that many, nearing 10, only 2 of them have I not been killed first. I'm the first one that chased in the game. I'm reading what it says. I'm the first one hooked. I'm the first one on death hook. I'm the first one sacrificed. I'm surrounded by mosquitoes and I have blood type O. What is happening? So just going off of what we're given, it sounds as if, like, you know, keeping in mind, in general, there potentially could be a skill issue. Now, usually when I've played killer or when I've like coached the handful of people that I have coached, or I've given guides or match reviews, whatever the case may be, I'm always advocating you want to go after the weak link, you want to go for the most efficient play. So if you're saying that you haven't played the game in 2 to 3 days, you're playing Survivor with a friend, then chances are there's 2 factors coming in. One, you're rusty, so you're not really playing the best, and you're playing with a friend, so you're distracted. Probably having a good conversation, you're probably having a good laugh, probably not even paying attention to what's really happening, and that's probably why you're probably making a lot of mistakes. And then as a killer player, they can look at your gameplay, like they looked at your pathing or where like your positioning is, stuff like that, and go, okay, this person seems like they seem a little confused, we're gonna go after them, it'll be an easy kill, and then it'll relieve a lot of the pressure on myself, and therefore can apply more pressure to them. Now, if you're playing like 10 matches, judging by gen speeds, it's about 5 minutes each. That's 5 minutes a pop, give or take. So you're getting about 5-minute games, about 10 of them, so maybe less than an hour. You're probably maybe getting in, I would say, like about 10 matches, right? So that doesn't give you a lot of time to practice, you know what I mean? And this is just purely off of just assumption, right? This is all purely off of what we're being given and what we know. So from that alone, it sounds like you are upset that killers are essentially kind of going after the weak link, or they're playing efficiently, or whatever the case may be, despite you mentioning that you haven't played in a bit. So you're probably rusty. You're probably not, or even more so, maybe you're not really as good at the game as you probably thought you were. And then on top of being rusty for not playing a few days, like your peak skill would then get dulled by time, if that makes sense. So that is inevitable. I mean, everybody gets rusty when you don't play something for a while. Even if a few days, I can even say for myself, I needed like a match or 2 to warm up when I'm playing like rivals. So let's go ahead and actually look at the responses. So we have one here that says either it's obvious you're a weak link, or it's your character skin. Dude, I don't know. Now, for me playing killer, I've never targeted anybody for a particular character or skin at all. You know, it's always been just whoever is the weakest gameplay wise. And if it just so happens that it happens to be Feng Min, or if it happens to be Leon's, or it happens to be Cheryl, or whatever the case may be, then hey, like that's fine. Like it is what it is. If that's just how it happens, it's how it happens. But speaking for myself as a killer player, with as many hours as I have, or had, I guess you could say, because we've long retired all my mains at this point, then I would say like it can't possibly be what do you call it, the character, basically. So OP responds and says, I'd say my Felix is pretty cool. He's one of those mixed outfit guys, but soon I'll change to Mikasa, which I don't know if they're referring to the Attack on Titan skin for Yui, I think. So I'm assuming. They say, though, I don't get why every one of them have favored me over my teammates when it's the first chase of the trial. Very rare coincidence. I'll never touch gambling with this luck. So that already is showing us that this individual doesn't have the right mindset. Okay? A killer player already is on the back foot when it comes to time. So a lot of the time, it could easily just be your positioning. Like, if they notice that you're out of, you know, say you're less, you have less distance to a pallet than, say, your teammate or whatever the case, maybe they'll probably pick your teammate. In this case, maybe your teammate already reached a tile or reached a point of safety before you have. So, of course, they're like, okay, well, if I have to pick between the two, I'm going to go after the guy who's in the middle of the field versus the guy that's running to Shack. Like, that's just how it is. So the thing is, it's not luck. It's not a coincidence. You have to keep in mind, look at the perspective from the outside. Where are you standing and relative to where they are, and where are you gonna go relative to where they are, right? And if you're running in a spot that's gonna only benefit them, they're going to continue to follow you because they're like, hey, it's gonna be light. Now, obviously, there are going to be killer players that have no fucking clue what they're doing. That applies to both sides. So they might overextend and chase for way too long, and that happens in some cases. Probably less so nowadays because you can go into a single chase that is beneficial as a killer and still lose 2 gens. It doesn't matter. Gen speed is through the roof nowadays. You can't control that at this point. Person responded, says, I can normally tell within a few seconds the relative skill of survivor through their reaction to me as well as pathing. If you go down quick, that's 100% the reason you're being tunneled. Look at as an opportunity. The best way to get better is to spend time in chase. So yeah, that's exactly what I was saying earlier. It's like, and I've said this before in a previous video. The fact of the matter is that I have spent enough time analyzing my own gameplay, especially and by proxy, I'm analyzing not only guides for survivors. I've also analyzed my own survivor gameplay at some points. I've also analyzed the survivors' pathing and things like that when analyzing my own gameplay as killer. So through that experience, I can say with confidence, I can tell, like, just by the way that they're moving, their pathing, the way that they're gonna do. I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna fucking sweat, or yeah, this is gonna land, or this is gonna do this. It's just helms with time. I think they call it game sense, whatever the case may be. This person says, happens to me too, friend. Usually if you lead them on a chase long enough, though, they tend to leave as a couple gens get popped. So once again, I'm seeing another perspective from a survivor main. It's just, oh, they just chase me for a while and just pop. It's like, okay, but you're not. It never comes from, they're doing this because of this. Like, it never comes from, oh, they're doing this because of X, Y, and Z, or I understand this because of blah, blah, blah. It's usually just, oh, it happens to me all the time. I don't know why. I just get chased and then gens start flying. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. So now we have OP once again responding. This is adding a little bit more context to what we were talking about. They said, I quote, I try to hold them in chase, but the DBD gods must have struck me with lightning or something because I've forgotten how to loop for the life of me. So ladies and gentlemen, you have the answer being revealed from the original poster themselves. They are literally telling us directly why. But what they failed to realize is this is the answer, which is strange because it seems so obvious to the rest of us that have played this game for longer than 2 hours, and it seems really obvious to us, so we even have stopped playing the game. I mean, this is how it works. If you're the weak link, then we're going to get targeted. And I think this even applies to Survivor. I can offer an example. For, like, let's say if you're playing Survivor and you notice that the killer is just like not going to a certain gen and is whiffing a lot of attacks, chances are you know 2 things. One, you can do the gen pretty much uncontested because that guy's never going to that gen, and it's probably the one that's going to get done anyway. And 2, you know that you're probably going to be able to hold your own in chase because they're not necessarily landing attacks. Comparatively, when you look at somebody who is very on their game with how they land their ability, or you notice like your teammates are not doing any generators, then you can kind of tell, you know, these people are not going to last very long. And of course, like within that, you can derive advantages, right? So for example, if you know that they're really bad again, spins, they'll try to do it multiple times, right? If you know that the killer is like tends to vault a lot, you know, okay, I could probably like go the other direction. I forget the specifics, but you get the point. Like there's ways to derive advantages out of your opponent on Survivor as well. But I understand that as a Survivor player, you're not incentivized to learn anything or improve or anything like that. So I understand why like a lot of them play like with their head in the fucking clouds and they just look at the sky and pick their nose or something instead of actually paying attention to how the game flows. And I get that. They've dumbed down Survivor so much that that's kind of what it's become. So I get it. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we have another person that responded. They said, if the first thing you do is to find a generator to sit on, you're going to be found more often than not because killers understand spawn logic. They will immediately move towards generators farthest from them. Because of that, it can be beneficial to stick to the edge of the map and find a less obvious generator. And then of course, like, you know, we have OP responding. They say, well, what's the logic behind choosing me instead of my mates when it's first chase of the trial? It's every time me. So now you're just getting into the crying, which is like, you know, classic Survivors. They tend to resort to crying instead of actually facing the music and understanding the elephant in the room is you're just bad at the fucking game. And I don't know why that's such a foreign concept. I don't understand entirely why they refuse to want to learn these things, why they refuse to want to accept, you know, the facts that they are just bad at the game. But unfortunately, that is the case. Like, that's why they always make up some bullshit. They go, oh, but I don't know. They just keep choosing me. I'm like, think you just said earlier, you forgot how to loop. So use your brain. Use your brain and think about it. Right? So they say, probably because they see you running into a less safe position. I don't know why they keep saying luck. The only constant factor in all of your matches is you. Exactly. So they go, yeah, I must have been hurt by the DVD guys. They're just saying I'm insanely good at chases, but I usually hold out. Just not today. It must be one of those days. So if now you're coping, in other words. Like, you know, that's what it sounds like to me. It just sounds like a lot of cope. It doesn't sound like you're actually trying to understand and improve. To be expected. Survivor main. What do you expect? Right? This person says, I just had this happen to me before, kept track of it, 17 games, found and chased first. It just happens. Yeah. I mean, it's out of your control that you're being chased first necessarily, because keep in mind the killer spawns where they spawn, you spawn where you spawn. It is what it is. You just got to work with it. It's like, unless you want to run an offering for it, which is an option, by the way. You can have it, you can apply an offering to change the spawns of where the survivors are. You can make them all spawn together. You can, I'm pretty sure you have that they haven't changed the offering where you spawn farthest away from the killer. So I mean, if you're really like, oh man, I keep spawning on these guys, like, you know, it's just put on an offering like that. They, like the thing with Survivor, they give you everything that you need, like, and quite literally to the point that you're getting spoon-fed like the highest probability of winning comparatively between the both sides. It's kind of insane. So they say, when the game starts, instead of running straight to the middle of the map or getting on this first gen you see, walk around a bit the edge and get on a safer gen. This person says, I do this. I'm not completely new with the game. I'm almost at 560 hours. I'm like, that's still baby numbers. I hate to say it. I remember vividly getting into a discussion like this with another killer player, quote unquote, within the community like a long time ago. And they were like literally like crashing out basically, because it was like, oh, like, what do you mean, like, you know, 1,000 hours is a lot or something. And it's like, I'm not new. And it's like, but it's pretty obvious, like, you, like, within this community that they have stated many a times. Ata stated many a times. I stated many a time. Hans has stated many a time. Like, everybody has already stated many a times, like 1,000 hours is beginner level when it comes to DBD hours and knowledge. So when I see rookie numbers, we'll call them, right? Not to be, you know, what do you call it? Not to make fun of people or something like that, but obviously it's just what it is. Like, you're new still. Like, 500 hours is still pretty low in comparison to the 10K maximum we've seen, 15K potentially, from the biggest creators who have the most knowledge about this game, right? So even myself, like I would probably range around like the mid-level when in terms of like hours and experience, because there's still a lot of things I probably don't know about the game. But a lot of the things that get complained about and discussed are very common and easy things to look at and discuss, and it's not that odd, like not that hard to realize. Like at the end of the point, it's a skill issue. Now, 560 hours, you're still baby level in terms of hours. Like that's just what it is. A lot of people are spending 10K hours, you know, believe it or not. There's like 5K hours, 10K hours, all ranges of hours that have no idea what the fuck they're doing. And I it's hilarious to say that, but it's true. It like our like number of hours does not really mean anything in DBD necessarily, because there are people with crazy more hours than me and still play like ass. Like they don't know anything about the goddamn game. So it genuinely makes me wonder, how do people spend so much time doing something and not learning anything? It's shocking, mind-boggling. I don't get it. I will never understand it. Like I just don't get it. But regardless, they're stating 560 hours. They're saying they don't know how to loop. They're saying that they're getting found all the time and dying. That is just you, buddy. Like you're just bad at the game, and that's fine. You can be bad at the game. You don't have to be a master, but you don't have to go on Reddit and complain about it. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if you were like on DBD Rage, you know what I mean, or like, you know, the forum, I'd be like, okay, fine. Like, you know, maybe we could let you slide. But you're coming out of the gate, and as the responses come through, like we're getting more and more understanding that you are just bad at the game. Like it is what it is. It's fine. So they say, I know how to loop, but not anymore. Like, because they're coping. They say, I would say I'm usually good in chase with mind games, general game sense. Killers have a global challenge in killing me. Nope, it's not. It's not. it's a lot of cope. It's just cope. I get it. I get it. But you gotta face the music. You're just bad. And it's fine. I have to keep saying this. Like, for those of you that keep up with this channel, I've already have like a killer course like on the channel for people that want to learn that thing, which I understand. Like not everybody wants to learn about how to play killer or wants to look up that like guides and shit. So like I understood that, and that's why I'm very rarely, if ever, am putting up new videos for that, because I already understand. A lot of people already made videos before me. My guides will probably be the best they ever, like, compared to everyone else's, because I don't waste your freaking time telling you, hey, press the mouse button to swing. Like we're not doing it, okay? We're going in understanding that you know what the hell like the very freaking basics. If you don't know the freaking basics, then that's you. Like you gotta get the basics down, buddy. You know, a video ain't gonna teach you that. But regardless, beyond that, of course, because we went a bit off topic, and I already talked about even learning in killer in this game is a waste of time anyway, but that's a whole other discussion. It's worth to hide like a bitch till they find someone else. And then given a solution, they say, I realized I wouldn't be able to get any chances at stuns or blinds to complete my tome challenge. I think all the killers know about my tome challenge and do their best to not let me have it. Now I'm assuming it's sarcastic, obviously, of course. And we're gonna assume that, we're gonna walk with that, because we could tear it to shreds, but we won't, because we understand that it's purely a joke. Obviously, if you're picking a tome that's very specific like this, then it's obviously you're not gonna get it done in one fucking match. But I understand, like I keep saying, Survivor is as brain dead as it's ever been, so I get it. Everything has been so dumbed down that even challenges can be done in like a single match because of it. I get it. I understand. Okay, we understand that going in when we see a Survivor post, that the IQ level doesn't really reach a certain threshold, so we understand. But regardless, okay, they say, gotta learn the art of being camouflage. As someone who has only played solo for 10 years, you just have to not get caught. Here's your third POV Person POV to your advantage. If the killer's headed your way, find a good spot to chill till they leave. Which, in other words, this person is saying learn how to rat, which I despise going against rats, but it is what it is. If they are coming to check a gen that was regressing, don't repair it till they come back and see it's still regressing, because they are less likely to check again for a while. If you just got unhooked, find a place to hide for a minute or two. If they want to tunnel you out, use personal distortion. Barbecue, nowhere to hide, don't give you away. And then they just kind of continue to cope about, oh, I used to do well and then I don't now. It's like, yeah, it's called being rusty. Like, yeah. It's like, yeah. So this one says, better start using separation, DS, Iron Will, or off the record, or stick to another player. All this was in Chaos Shuffle. Wanted to try out the game mode, but got absolutely obliterated. It was one of those days. Yeah, some more cope, but ultimately, it's like you're playing Chaos, which, mind you, they're saying they're trying the mode, meaning that they've never played it. So, yeah, I mean, like I keep saying, I mean, it's without saying, like, you know, you're not as good as you thought you were, and it's a reality check, and that's why they're coping as hard as they are in these responses. Which, I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? When you're faced with reality, you know, it takes a little bit of a second to soak in. We get it. Like, we understand. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Check out the second, well, I guess the main channel, technically speaking. Check out the Rivals channel and the main channel for new content coming in. Let me know your thoughts. Consider supporting with a membership on Patreon or on this channel. If you want to support me directly, have access to new content and perks. See you guys next one. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members, Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not JLo, Evil Peach, Hargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.